Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to PyAlchemy. Have you ever wondered how expert Python developers process massive data, chain operations or cache results, all just with few lines of code? Today we'll uncover one of the Python's most hidden tools, Itertools, and you will never look at loops the same way again. Today we shall see Itertools with some practical implementation. So let's start by importing Itertools first. Now for the first tool. The first tool is count. Now what count does? It creates an infinite counter. Let's see. We shall count from 10. We'll increment step by 2 and we shall stop at 20. So as you can see, it printed values from 10 till 20 by incrementing step by 2, like 10, 12, 14 till 20. So it will generate values from 10 to 20 and would keep on going forever if we don't stop it with a break. You used to use range, but what about cases like when you need to label items, generate IDs or simulate counters without writing manual loops? This is where count tool becomes more efficient. Then we have chain. And now to implement chain, we will create two lists, 5 and then list 2. Now, so as you can see, we got values from 1 to 10 in a list. So chain helps you combine multiple iterables into one continuous sequence. Instead of writing nested loops or concatenating list, chain elegantly loops through all the elements from each iterable. This improves readability and avoid unnecessary list copying. It's also memory efficient because it doesn't create intermediate lists. And now we have group by. So group by groups elements based on a key function. Here we group by the first element in each tuple. For key A, it collects all pairs where the first item is A, then it moves to B. There's one thing to note that group by only groups consecutive similar keys. The sorting is important before grouping. It's often used for grouping log entries, analytics data, or categorizing record efficiently. Then we have cycle. Cycle repeats elements from an iterable infinitely. So as we can see, from a list of values on and off, we got a sequence of on-off values and a total of 6 values with 3 of them being on and 3 of them being off. So this can be useful when you want to make a duty scheduler for rotating duties, maybe at a restaurant or a cinema hall. Stuff like that. Now we have repeat. This one repeats a single value multiple times. And here we define number of times we want to repeat this word. So as you can see, it has repeated the word portions 10 times. This will come in handy when you need to control fixed number of repeats, like retrying failed API calls or testing consistent behavior. And now we have permutations. This shall return us all possible ordering of a group of elements. And here we shall give a list of values. So as you can see, it has returned us all the permutations possible from the elements given in the list. Most common use of this is in cybersecurity, like testing field, QA testing, or generating brute force test data, or all possible sequences. Then we have combinations. This is used when we want all possible groups from a set of values, and the order doesn't matter. So this value here represents number of elements we want per group. So here you can see that we have received three groups with two values each, and these were all the possible combinations from the given list of values. You can use this in menu or offer generators, A/B testing, or recommendation systems. Next we have accumulate. This is for running totals or cumulative operations. So as you can see, it adds progressively, like the sum of 1 and 0, then we have 1, then we have sum of 1 and 2, then we have sum of 1, 2 and 3, and then 1, 2 and 4, and then so on. Most common use of this is in data analytics and dashboarding. It gives insights into trends, totals of cumulative matrices over time. Personally, I have used this in analytics multiple times. Then we have islice. This is used when we need to slice an iterator like a list. It works like list slicing, starts with index 2, stops before 7, and steps by 2. You can use this one in, paginating large data streams, like you are analyzing massive data stream, but you want to preview only first 50 or 100. This will do wonders in that sort of task. So these were your most commonly used Itertools. I hope you understood these tools and the main functionality of Itertools module. The video for functools will be dropping soon, so stay tuned and subscribe to the channel if you are gaining any knowledge from these videos. I shall see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care, keep practicing. So long.